Guys, welcome back. This is the Screenwriting Storytelling Lab. I'm Coder J, and we're here. Welcome back. This is Module 3, and we're having fun. We're doing a great job. Well done up to this point, because right now, this is where we are. We've been doing a lot of writing, and right now in Module 3, we are on a very important topic, character development. The character's intent, their function, what they're doing in the story. We've done a lot of short screenwrites here lately, and we're going to continue. In every module, we're always going to write. So be ready to write another screenplay, a short one, here in this module. So things are, we're still early, right? Still early in the course. And we're writing against the semantics, how to write a screenplay. And today is all about character development. We'll choose a genre. We'll get another log line going. This is the progression. This is a progressive course. We'll be doing a lot of writing, a lot of creative writing, fiction writing. Take your stories, what you've created, and plug it into the format of a screenplay. That's what this community is all about. So again, welcome back. And we're going to keep working together here in Module 3. We're going to first talk about character development, as you can see. So I'm here. I've been part of a writing community for a while now, because this is what it's all about. The creative writing process. Bring it all together. Find your favorite story. Finally put it in a format that matters. So that's what it's all about, and that's your takeaway for right now. So again, I'm Coder J, and I'm here to really deliver to you what this character development thing is all about. We're going to get to a log line shortly, and we're going to start writing again. We're going to get into the story. At the end, towards the middle, it's an ongoing progressive course, but by module 10, okay, you'll level up, of course, and you will have the opportunity to write a full screenplay. Remember, heads up, about one page is about a minute worth of screen time. So about 1 minute per page. So it gives you an idea of how many pages you need. Okay. So when dealing with character development, we're going to keep going there. Keep going with these characters. Okay. They are very important to every story. We are definitely, like I said before, in a very creative environment. It's a fiction world, right? Obviously, but we are still in a real world. And this is how I convey the thinking here. The thinking behind the creativity is that you're still in the world as we know it, which is very interesting to me. You're in the world as we know. The character starts as somebody in a town as we know it, right? It's a fiction world that brings together the world as we know it. So it makes for very interesting topics and situations, twists and turns along the way in this course, in this community. So think about a long progressive journey with Coder J, writing these fiction narratives, stories, twists and turns. Here in Module 3, we continue to speak on this. It's a journey, it's an adventure, it's a lot of work in respect to moving down a trail, per se, a creative trail. But the end result is that, we're supposed to be having fun here. It's supposed to be adventurous. We're supposed to feel the sense of the unknown. Okay? So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where these stories are going. Right now we're practicing. We haven't started the full story yet, but we're practicing right now. We're talking, we're learning. And once we get to our full our full story, our full screenwrite, then things start to pick up. That's the fun part, the unknown we write together. So right now, the characters are a very important part of every story. Okay. The character has a gender. The character is treated as a meaningful type in the story. The character wants something. The character needs something. The character is someone that we may know in the world as we know it, but this is the fiction world, and the physics behind that fiction world we must focus on. So here is where we start to pick up here in module 3 with Coder J. That's me. The process as you take this course with me, the process, the thinking process behind how we're creating these stories one block at a time. That has always been my and is my approach in the areas of writing that I'm involved with. But right now it's fiction writing right here. So that's the focus. That's how we're going to continue. I'm going to give you as much as I can as we continue. So guys, this character wants something. He or she needs something. What the character believes will solve their problem is what they want. What actually resolves their underlying imbalance, right? They're not super human. They don't have super strength necessarily. We would like to think that they do sometimes when we're writing our stories. I like to think that when I'm dealing with a character, and I wrote, some stories, some books in the past, dealing with action thrillers, and I like to think that my character is invincible and never makes a mistake. But that's not always the reality. There's going to be core tension. Characters often pursue the wrong solution to a real problem, so they'll struggle sometimes. So it's kind of like that balance between that you need to find between a character that you adore that is going to really get through everything without a problem. But the reality is, and this is the fun part, in your fiction narrative and world and physics, against the world as we know it, think about the reality that your character is stepping into. That they could have those struggles as I help you build the story. So this is the fun part, right? Create your character development in the world as we know it, but it is the fiction world and he can or she can still have problems. That's interesting. That is always something to think about as you write. So character intent, character function, this is where we are, module 3. Conscious motivation. We have goals, the character, visible desires. Unconscious motivation, hidden fears, trauma responses, identity protection. So again, the weaknesses that are coming out in your character that you believe in as invincible, but they're really not. Strong stories, right? Strong twists and turns. I cannot get away from this. Repetition through our creative process. So we have goals. We have these character types. Character may start flawed. They may start limited. I try not to start my character flawed, especially if he or she's an action figure. Hardly are they flawed or limited when dealing with action thriller, action fighter. That's just me. But they can be and they should be sometimes flawed. Through conflict, gains, insight, weaknesses, integration, dealing with the enemy, right? So we're hopeful that they will win in the end and that they understand the truth and that they'll hold their integrity. The protagonist versus the antagonist. Antagonist, structured opposition to your character's desire. So the force of opposition is the enemy, the antagonist. We'll get into something right now, or here in a minute, where we're going to start writing again. Dialogue, communication, strategy, defense, avoidance, protection, actions. So we need to, create these characters with that in mind, understanding who they are and what they're trying to do in these stories. Screenplay formatting, very, very important to plug this into the format. This is what this community is all about. Fiction writing, storytelling into that format. So we'll be dealing with that again. So we're not getting away from those semantics. So we are back in the writing area. We are familiar now with the format through screenwriting. I talked about, what the tabs are and what the subtitles are and a few other constructs that we're going to go through always. So this is a new title. It's going to be a thriller and action that we're going to start working on. Think character development today, of course, module 3. Written by you, your name. So we have a character in an action setting, okay, that is dealing with a situation. He is the hero. He should have weaknesses. We're going to write this thing out here in module 3. We're going to work on this thing together. Okay, so we're here. Okay, and we have our text. So we should have text ready to go as we fade in to the scene. Okay, so fading into the scene is where we'll begin. Think about the setting. This is a guy who is dealing with situations where things are spontaneous, things are constantly happening. So we need to make sure that we're capturing all kinds of things, all kinds of situations for this character. Okay. So we have our situation that we're dealing with. So think about a name you'll give the guy. Think about how we're going to begin. So remember, this is all about writing. It is just raw off the ground with me. We will correct what we need to correct along the way, but it is all about the creative process. There's no rush. Okay, we have enough time per module to figure this thing out. It is 100% creative. There's nothing being pulled from anything. This is not a sample from a book. This is all about the creative process, the thinking process with Coder J. All I've got right now is a white page with a fade in, okay, construct. You can fill in your name, and we can start by thinking about how this story is going to go. So the location, where he is, who he is. Okay. We are real time all the way through. Okay. So we're fading in and we need a location. Okay. What's our location? Let's see. Let's see where we are. We are external, which means what? We are outside. Okay. We're outside in a location. So let's say we're in the city and we're thinking that we are in the park. It's it's nighttime. This is awesome. This is already turning out to be pretty cool. I work with third person action narrative lines for the most part, and names are always capital. We got a situation here. It's an action thriller, and we got a guy who we're going to create. Okay, a small breeze. Okay, moves by, and this is our guy. Is calmly standing in the park area. He is thinking to himself and is showing signs of some kind of preoccupation. In the distance, there are 3 shadowy figures moving by. So this is where the creative process begins. So let's see how that goes. How we're doing. So we're in the city park bench. It's nighttime. It's an action thriller according to the title. It's written by someone like yourself. We are practicing here in our lab with Coder J, fading into that city park bench to begin our screenplay. A small breeze moves by and Jello is calmly standing in the park area. And of course, when we write this, it's all rough. So far we're still in a rough beginning in the course, right? So we're going to get to, at least by module 10, you level up, like I said, and it's going to get a little bit more official and a little bit more flow, a little bit more flow to it. And it gets serious and fun, and we start to bring it all together. We start to bring the pieces together by then. But for now, think lab. That's why it's called a lab. Okay. We're practicing. We're sandboxing. We're breaking things. We're fixing things. We're thinking like that. So it's a lab, right? It's it is what it is, right? We're not, in a final production state or anything. Practice. Think and talk and work together. So the small breeze moves by and Jello's calmly standing in the park area. He's thinking to himself and is showing signs of preoccupation. Here in the lab with Coder J. In the distance, there are 3 shadowy figures moving by. So we're going to assume as we work together, Jello is the action protagonist in this case. So we're thinking about strengths and weaknesses right now. So I'm trying to work through the thinking process as we work through it as well. His strengths and his weaknesses. Okay. And so we fade it in, bringing all our tools together for a third person action narrative and our situation that he's dealing with. So let's go ahead and bring in a sequence. Okay. So to get to know him better, we're going to do a flashback. Okay. I'm going to do a flashback here. In the distance, there are three shadowy figures moving by. Flashback. Okay. Int house, room, day. This is a flashback in the past. Jello, moving through the room with urgency, hides behind a table. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So remember the tab 8 thing? So you're moving tab 8 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tab 4. That's going to be a line that describes what he's doing. That is the parenthetical. Okay, so he is urgently and boldly doing something. So we're dealing with something in the house. There's something going on. It's a flashback. So we're going to grab one of these adverbs that I like to use, and we're going to have him, with this sense of urgency, yell out, and he's going to show a little bit of weakness here. Okay, a little bit of weakness, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and tab over 1, 2. Tab over 2 for dialogue, 1, 2. All right. And okay, so he's obviously yelling. There's something going on here. 3 shadowy figures in the distance, back in present time. There were 3 shadowy figures moving by in present time. Flashback. He's in the park thinking about being in the room in the house someday in the past. Jello, moving through the room with urgency, hides behind the table. Okay. All right. So here we are in the lab, continuing here in module 3. So guys, welcome again. Flashback. We're in the house. So in her middle age, goes to hide behind the table. The woman is some name. So you can, create a name, right? Here we go. So now we get to move over. Okay, keep the creative flow going. Stay here. Okay, all right. So let's keep going. To this point, we're staying there. He's telling Jello saying stay there. So now we need a third. We need an action narrative line here. In the distance, behind one of the closed windows A shadowy figure moves by. All right, keep going. We'll take a look at it. We'll read through it here in a second, see how we're doing with this exercise, right? And guys, let's take our time. We have more than enough time per module to get stuff done here in this flashback. Okay. So where are you going? What's going on? He'll respond with, just trust me on this. Okay. Do exactly as I say. So Jello is the action protagonist in this story. Victoria is probably a friend in this case, and they're dealing with some kind of enemy outside. So let's keep going. So suddenly, the window crashes in, and a man rushes into the room. All right, so let's keep going, scrolling down, that is. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is tab 4. Okay, and I'll grab an adverb for this parenthetical here, and we'll figure it out. She's obviously scared. So there's probably going to be some type of negative response, obviously. And it should be like a frantic response. So frantically. Here's Jello. Okay, so he's yelling, right? We're still in the flashback, and in a moment's notice, a loud sound is heard. Jello has his, Jello's expression drops. Okay, so something happened. We don't know quite yet what happened, but we're going to do what? We're going to scrolling down. We're going to end the flashback. Okay. All right. That's the flashback sequence here in our screenplay exercise. So let's work through it now and talk through it, read through it. So guys, here we are fading in. We're in the city on the outside at night. A small breeze moves by and Jello is calmly standing in the park area. He's thinking to himself and is showing signs of preoccupation. In the distance, there are 3 shadowy figures moving by. Flashback. We're in the house. Jello moving through the room with urgency hides behind the table. Jello shakily, hurry. Behind the table, now. A woman in her middle age goes to hide behind the table. The woman is Victoria. Okay, so we're introduced to this woman. Okay, so we're introduced to her. And, you know, in her middle age, goes to hide behind the table. She is Victoria. So she's now communicating with urgency as well. You know, so if there's any grammar issues here, we can fix those as soon as possible. This is raw exercising. And guys, this is raw writing with Coder J. Take, you know, your best stories and let's work together. If you have a story, work on your own time after the module and write it in this format. Get it screen ready. Okay, that's what the community is all about. Taking your stories and elevating it to what this lab is all about. Fading in. We're in the city. It's situation. It's a thriller. See? So Jello, what are you doing? Just do what I say. Stay here. In the distance, behind one of the closed windows, a shadowy figure moves by. So in the park, he saw those figures. He's having a flashback right now. Jello, where are you going? What's going on? Just trust me on this. Do exactly what I say. Suddenly, the window crashes in and a man rushes into the room. So frantically, you know, there is dialogue exchange. Jello says, run now, run, right? So in a moment's notice, a loud sound is heard. Jello's expression drops and flashback. Okay. So end of flashback. And we are returning to our park bench. So this is what we have so far in this exercise. Right? So we're ending the flashback and we're back into the park bench. So let's see how we can we fade it in, and we should probably return, right? So we're simply returning to the prior location. So we can return to okay, and Yellow, you know, shaking his head, moves to find some cover. Three shadowy figures move by aggressively in the distance. Okay, so we move to take cover aggressively in the distance. And this is probably night. You probably do like a continuous if you want to, because that's where he was. Continue us. Okay. So you could probably do a continuous like that. You don't have to do that, but that, you know, says, okay, we're continuing where we were. So yeah, that could probably be continuous. Okay. Because we know it's night and we can continue where we were. So that's another way to do that. For a nicer transition, something to learn in this case. So now we've got these figures that we're dealing with. We already know it's night. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't have to be an adverb in this case. I just want to do that. It doesn't have to be an adverb, but sometimes I want to, he speaks to himself, you know? Why tonight? I want to just go home and, you know, watch cartoons. Okay. All right. So we've got to box up the dialogue. Okay. So box up your dialogue. Okay. All right. So out of nowhere. Here we go. So nowhere, a man gets way too close to Jello. All right, so let's keep going. So he's in the park. It's nighttime. The three men are moving. This is a man. Probably not a good man. So my action characters are always, to me, when dealing with action thrillers in this particular exercise, are witty and strong and ready. But in reality, they have, per the character development subject that we're dealing with tonight, okay, here, okay, with Coder J in this module 3, okay, what he also has are weaknesses, challenges, potentially, possibly, and in reality. He's not supposed to be that strong. Okay, which makes things interesting and up for debate sometimes, that we're dealing with someone who's supposed to be a hero here. So here he is. Where do you think you're going? I didn't think I was going anywhere. Okay, you know, we're not playing this game tonight. Where is the item? Like that. See, so we're just kind of working on our dialogue, working on our story, working on beginning a nice action thriller situation. Jello is our action hero here. So guys, that's what's going on. So back and forth banter here. You want the item? Well, I might have it. All right, go ahead and hurry up. I don't have much time here. So here we go. He continues, right? Was that you? Was that you with two other guys, right? So remember the three shadowy figures that walked by, right? So dialogue continues nicely here. Okay, dialogue continues nicely. Was that you with two other guys? I didn't think you were a guy who kept out. Okay. Yeah, you know, so we can say, okay, no, I'm Okay, so he's responding now. I'm the guy who actually does keep. So you can add a parenthetical here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is doing what? You know, just kind of, loosely or something like that. And I'm not going to give you a chance here, like just like we gave your friend. A long time ago, right? So the man laughs in a very, unfriendly, unwanted manner. Let's box up our dialogue, as I've been mentioning. And this sets up for an immediate, what I like to call, for an action thriller, an action sequence. Okay? So what's next in this exercise, guys, is an immediate action sequence. Jello is your action hero. He can fight. He's witty. He can fight. He's about to fight this guy. He's about to take care of those 3 shadowy figures, and then we're going to basically end the exercise. I mean, it's just an exercise for module 3. Now, we are introduced to something that happened with his friend here in the beginning of our screenplay. And as we develop our character in Jello, his weakness could be what he dealt with Victoria, that maybe something happened to her. And as we write the story, we'll get that backstory and develop the character. And it starts with this thing called a flashback. Okay. Then we can move to the action sequence. Okay. And we'll finish up with the action sequence and see what else we can discuss. So again, we're fading in to our city, our park bench. It is nighttime. That's our location. The screen is ready for receiving the zoom on the camera. Park bench at night. A small breeze. Jello's introduced. He's calmly standing in the park area. He is thinking to himself, showing signs of preoccupation. Guys, this is a rough raw write, so I'm looking for grammar as well. If there's any grammar issues, we'll correct them right away. But the creative process right now is what is important right now. A small breeze moves in. Jello is calmly standing in the park area. He's thinking to himself and showing signs of preoccupation. 3 shadowy figures move by. So in the distance, there are 3 shadowy figures moving by. Okay, so we've established that we have a problem. Okay, those are the third person narratives, if you will. Flashback. In the room. It's daytime. Moving through the room with urgency. Hides behind the table. Okay, 3 shadowy figures. Okay. Shakily, hurry, behind the table now. A woman, his friend, is Victoria. What are you doing? Just do what I say. Stay here. In the distance, behind one of the closed windows, a shadowy figure moves by. So that maps to the 3 shadowy figures from the park. So he's thinking, he's getting a flashback. Okay, so that's what's going on. So this friend here is yelling. Okay, and Just trust me on this. Do exactly what I say. Suddenly, the window crashes in and a man rushes into the room. Probably the same man from the park. Watch out, Victoria. Run now. In a moment, so the loud sound is heard. Jello's expression drops and flashback. Something probably happened. Back to the park bench is continuous, which means the time is continuous from the night. So we know that it's already night from earlier from the top. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So we don't have to repeat ourselves, if you will. Okay. So continuous. Jello shaking his head moves to find some cover. Three shadowy figures move by aggressively in the distance. They're still moving. Jello to himself. Why tonight? I want to just go home and watch cartoons, right? He's being really sarcastic and witty here. Out of nowhere, man gets way too close to Jello. He's already been introduced, so I will correct this. Where do you think you're going? I didn't think I was going anywhere. The wittiness continues. We're getting introduced to his character already. Okay, we're not playing this game tonight. Where is the item? Okay. Where is the item? You want the item, huh? Well, I might have it. Go ahead and hurry up. I don't have much time here. Was that you with two other guys? Oh, I didn't think you were a guy who kept count because we know it's three guys. No, I'm the guy who actually does keep count. I'm not going to give you a chance here just like we gave your friend a long time ago. That's just referencing the flashback. Now, the man laughs in a very friendly manner, and this really upsets Jello real quickly, really quickly now. So now we're in the action sequence. So let's see how we can format this. This is one of my favorite things to write. Our action sequences. But so I'll finish up doing this. So we'll just kind of create that. Jello expression changing, reaches out and grabs this man. Jello with quickness and precision pulls the man in. Okay, so we need to double space this. The man is on the shoulder and is then dropped or then flipped in the air. So Jello expression changing here in this action sequence after he laughs at him for an action thriller. Immediately to begin this screenplay, as you enter the movie house, the movie begins, right? Jello expression changing, reaches out and grabs this man. Just reaches with quickness and precision, pulls a man in, right? And then just kind of on the shoulder and then flips him over, boom, like that, bam. So think about a typical action sequence with quickness and precision, pop, pop, boom, on the shoulder, down, right? Wham, camera switches and everything, right? So in this case, this man now is flat on his back, but immediately there is a fist thrown to the side of Jello. But Jello, 2, 3, 2, 3, with rapid reflexes, blocks the attack, and throws a quick, a quick martial hand, neutralizing the attacker. Okay, so we have a little action sequence going on here. So expression changes, reaches out, grabs a man, quickness and precision, pulls a man in. The man is on the shoulder, instead flipped in the air. This man now is flat on his back, but immediately there's a fist thrown to the side of Jello, but Jello, with rapid reflexes, blocks the attack and throws a quick martial hand. So it shows his dedication to the ability to defend himself and to fight and to be an action fighter. So he has skills to neutralize attackers. So that is an action sequence that can continue. Action sequence. Okay, neutralizing the attacker. Then, after some time, another attacker shows up. Without any further time wasted, if you will, Jello pulls a small, it could be like a small kind of, divisive thing that he throws, pulls a small, device, or something like that, throws it. Okay, so he can throw something, he can engage in hand to hand, he can do a couple things there. So he throws it, or he can engage hand to hand combat with this attacker. Okay. So hand to hand combat begins, and in a quick moment. Okay. In a quick moment. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Quick hand. Quick hand attacks from Jello. 1, 2, 3. The last attacker is immediately put to the ground. Right. Jello calmly walks away into the distance. Okay, something like that. And you can simply end the sequence, right? So when we end the sequence, we got to be specific. So if it's an action sequence, you're ending action sequence. Okay. So we end action sequence, and maybe the next day we could probably cut to something or dissolve to something, depending on what we want to do. We go to a different location, store, cafe, morning. Right. So now you continue your story, and some other character, a large man in his mid Still age, somebody, it's some name, right? So Henry, some name, right? Is walking to a small table after getting a drink, right? He may have interaction with another character as we continue the story, but for now, let's review. Right? We're building characters, we're developing characters, developing scenes. As I had mentioned before, building scenes, right? We're going to bring all that together. And of course, we're going to clean up some of this and make it more dynamic. This is just a rough kind of thing to show you how to create the scenes, right? So the man laughs in a very friendly, unwanted manner. Action sequence begins immediately here in our exercise. We're getting to know who Jello is here. Jello, expression changing, reaches out and grabs his man. After being witty with him, with quickness and precision, pulls the man in again. I get really passionate about this stuff sometimes. The man is on the shoulder and is then flipped in the air. This man now is flat on his back, but immediately there's a fist thrown to the side of Jello, but Jello, with rapid reflexes, blocks the attack and throws a quick martial hand, neutralizing the attacker. Then after some time, another attacker shows up. Without any further time wasted, Jello pulls a small device, throws it. Okay. I did that on purpose because you can either throw it or you can engage hand-to-hand combat with the attacker. That's something we can clean up later. Okay, depending on what you want to do. Hand-to-hand combat begins, and then I chose hand-to-hand combat here. 1, 2, 3. Quick hand attacks from Jello. 1, 2, 3. Pop, 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 like that. He's real good. He's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. So think about the attack. Pop. Think about he attacks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. So for the screen, 1, 2, 1, 2, and he returns with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he blocks 3 times quickly and attacks 3 times quickly, like that. But the thing about someone who's really trained and just like dynamic presence in front of the camera right there, the last attacker is immediately put to the ground. Jello calmly walks away into the distance. End action sequence dissolved to the next day, the next morning, right? A large man, Henry, was walking to a small table after getting a drink. So this is our exercise. It's something we can continue, but it's just an exercise, right? I'm gonna stop here for now. So hopefully that brought us a little bit closer to writing these screenplays, getting these sequences together, building these scenes, getting some scenes created here for our character development for module 3. So guys, good job today on our module 3 character development situation. Okay, action thriller exercise. Guys, good work. Let's take a stopping point here in this community with Coder J, this lab work that we are going to continue to do. We're at the store. It's morning time at the cafe. It's Henry showing up. All right, guys, I'll see you later.